Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I'm your host, Rubina Rastavan, aka the Realist Astrologer. And here is part 2 of Saturn and Capricorn through the houses 7th through the 12th. So let's get started with the 7th house. So here are some key words, key phrases, and possible manifestations of Saturn and Capricorn transiting your 7th house. Entering into a business partnership, or starting a business with your spouse or mate. Seeking out or being in need of a business partner. Putting a partner on a clock. Giving him an ultimatum, him or her. So that could be you've been in a relationship for years with the same person, but they have cold feet about getting married or getting engaged. So you may put them on the clock and say, look, you got till 2020, which is when Saturn will leave Capricorn, to make up a decision about getting married. An ex-partner returns. You could get married for status. So you may find that, okay, marrying for love did not work, so this time around I'm going to marry for status. Pining for an ex, attempts to reconcile with an ex, experiencing loneliness, displaying antisocial behavior. A partner is away from home more, especially due to work. Separation, perhaps legal separation in terms of a marriage. Seeking legal counsel about employer or a business. Filing an official complaint or lawsuit against an employer or a business. A partner or spouse is out of work. An employment contract is coming to an end, or you could be entering into a new employment contractual agreement. You are in a better position to negotiate in terms of job opportunities. The boss becomes your enemy. Being micromanaged, being under heavy scrutiny. You could be blamed for wrongdoing. It's a good time to engage in professional networking when Saturn is transiting your 7th house in Capricorn. Also, you could be gaining a mentor. You could be attending more business or work-related events. You could be entering into a relationship with someone who is much older than you. Or they could be of a different race, status, background. So Saturn and Capricorn entering the 7th house could be about that swirl. So you may find that dating a person of the same race or ethnicity or what have you is not working. So you may choose to go on the other side. All right, 8th house. Termination or circumstances beyond your control regarding work. So you could get fired from work, or you could get laid off. Problems with management or the boss. You could encounter tax issues, so that could be in the form of liens, levies, so dealing with the IRS in general. Outside intervention from a government agency, so this could be really hectic. So this could be like CPS or the police knocking on your door, search warrant. So, you know, if you got a cousin Ray or Daquan or whatever, and he's selling drugs, and you know that he got Capricorn in his 8th house and Saturn's going to be entering his 8th house, you better warn him, tell him he better get his act together, tell him he better cover all his bases. He may need to retain a lawyer just in case, because he could get caught up around this time. He or she, whoever's involved in criminal activity and Saturn is entering their 8th house, they could get caught up during that time. All right. Detecting fraudulent or underhanded activity at work, or it could be in terms of a business. You could be having knee surgery, dental surgery, or it could just be problems with your knees or your teeth, your skin. Could have a skin infection like MRSA. You could sustain a broken bone. A child may be getting braces. So if you have a child and they have Capricorn in their 8th house, they may need braces when Saturn is in their 8th house. Or if you have Capricorn in the 8th and you have a child that needs braces, that could deal with you having to go into debt to pay for those braces. You may encounter haters at work that make you want to jump ship. You could also encounter a case of sexual harassment. Receiving a nice tax refund. The dissolution of a business or selling a business. Problems with your father. Severance pay. Time is a critical factor. Check on your elderly relatives more often, and this goes back to the father. Experiencing a rebirth in terms of your career path. Not having much control over your work situation. A period without sex. Ninth house. The need to take a vacation or hiatus becomes too strong to ignore. Traveling a long distance out of necessity. Work-related travel, conducting business overseas. Efforts to expand in business. Relocating for better career opportunities. Going global in terms of business. Visiting a historical site or ancient ruins. Adopting a traditional religious belief system. Or becoming an atheist or a Satanist. A study of a certain area of history. Entering business school. Beginning a residency program. Gaining tenure or full professorship. Your workload increases, so hopefully you enjoy what you do. A moral or ethical dilemma at work could occur. Your chosen career path requires continuing education. You could be dropping out of college or university if you're enrolled while Saturn enters your ninth house. If you're traveling via car and you're traveling across the country, or you're traveling via interstate, don't be surprised if you get pulled over by the cops. Also, a job may not last long if you get it while Saturn is in Capricorn in your ninth house. You could encounter some injustices at work. You could be contemplating becoming an expatriate, so like immigrating to another country. You could encounter some issues with customs if you are traveling abroad. 10th house. Attaining the height of success, achievement, attainment, acquisition. So let me just say that if you have Capricorn in your 10th house and Saturn is going to be transiting your 10th, that's actually a really good time for you. So it's the time to do it big in terms of your job, career, business. So you could be getting a promotion. You could be launching a business. Being on top of the world. So that could be figuratively or literally. So figuratively in terms of being at the height of success. Literally in terms of you could be doing some mountain climbing. You could be going to some, going up on a high-rise building and going out to the observation deck, such as like the Empire State Building or the Sears Tower. Returning to work after a period of being out of work. Gaining public recognition, an increase in responsibility, a significant anniversary, becoming a manager, supervisor, or executive, winning an election, winning a bid on a contract, so this could be a government or corporate contract, a need to spend more time with or assume responsibility for a parent, especially the mother, joining a board of directors, becoming incorporated, or you could be forming an LLC. You could be taking your company public, so you could be filing an IPO. Your reputation is even more on the line. Your job or business is taking up most of your time. You're at risk of selling your soul. So that's a big one with Saturn entering Capricorn in your 10th house, especially if you have a high-profile career. You might be given a proposition that can actually equate to selling your soul. So you got to be careful with that one. Be on guard for opportunists. And you could be rubbing elbows with the elite. 11th house. You could be in an experimental phase with respect to your career or business. You could be going through a job change. Or more than one job change. Changing careers that is drastically different than your old career. Friendships are put to the test. You could be joining a professional group, organization, or society. You could be starting an online business. You could be given an increase in autonomy at work. A friend helps you to get a job. Achievement of career goals. Receiving perks, special privileges at work. It'll be very easy to get jobs during this time. You could be acquiring new technology for your business. You could be forming friendships with people who are much older than you. creating a niche in terms of your business, being a whistleblower, coming out of the closet. So if you are gay or if there's something about your lifestyle that you have been keeping in the closet, Saturn and Capricorn transiting your 11th house could give you the impetus to come out of the closet and basically say, look, this is who I am, take it or leave it. Boycotting a business or system, innovation of a system, being instrumental in getting policies or laws changed, organizing activist activities. And 12, last but not least, 12th house, being more introverted or isolated. And that usually is due to having some special project that you're working on, or perhaps you're operating a business and you don't really have time for anything or anybody else, so you might become very isolated. You might isolate yourself in order to get things done. A business merger, morphing into another professional role. Someone tries to take credit for your work. Dealing with freeloaders. Skeletons in your closet. At risk of being scammed or conned at work or in business. Secrets from the past come out. Problems with time management. Lacking adequate time. Yearning for a better job or career change. Screwing up on the job. Having to make a sacrifice in terms of work or business. Demand exceeds supply. So if you have a business, and Saturn's in my 12th house right now, so when it enters Capricorn, this is one of my concerns. So you could be operating a business, and especially if you're a sole proprietor where you're the sole person running the business, you could get to a point where demand exceeds supply, where you're, experiencing so much growth that it's hard for you to keep up on your own, and you may need to hire an assistant. A need to delegate duties, responsibility, so that goes hand in hand with demand exceeding supply. Drowning in work, being inundated in work, shady business practices, a new job in healthcare, especially like in a hospital or clinic, the arts, spirituality, or a nonprofit organization. You could be creating a nonprofit organization or a charitable foundation. Your father could be in the hospital. So that is Saturn in Capricorn through the houses. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you have planned, what your ambitions are for Saturn transiting your houses. And I may do a video about predictions with Saturn and Capricorn. These would be mundane predictions about how things can go in terms of politics, in terms of just the world in general. So I don't know about that. So I'm not totally, that's totally not set in stone yet. And because I'm a Sagittarius, I do have a tendency to say, I'm going to do this, but then I dropped the ball. So excuse me on that. And it is Sagittarius season. So I will be doing my 5 reasons why I love Sagittarius very soon. So stay tuned for that. If you would like a reading, please visit my website at rabina.com. I'm leaving a link in the description section. Peace and many blessings.